You are now listening to Talking Transparency, the podcast where transparents talk transparently. Hosted by Thea Ross, Melissa Luxon, and Cody Connor.
Welcome back to Talking Transparency. This is Melissa.
I'm Thea.
And I'm Cody.
No, please.
You go, Thea.
Okay, fine. Tonight we have a guest on, Cav Fox. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah, Cavalis Fox.
Thank you very much. Please tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Cavalis. I go by Cav. I use she, they pronouns. I'm roughly 30-something years old, and I
It's the sound of the Navy. Sorry.
and I work in a tattoo parlor. I've been tattooing for about 5.5 years. I've been trying to tattoo previously to that for like my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you. We are so excited to have you today. We'll get back to asking you some questions, but first, Thea, can you talk a little bit about what we got going on?
Absolutely. If you're watching, you're probably getting ready for Pride. If you haven't, you need to go online and find all the wonderful Pride events in your area. We are getting prepared. Just coming up this weekend, we are going to be out at P Flags Picnic here in Norfolk. If you can go and follow them on socials to get more specifics and sign up. I know it's a sort of bring your own thing, and they'll have desserts. We're going to be out in the park having a wonderful day, so it's going to be a really good opportunity. So definitely join us there. And then if you can't, later on in Newport News, this very same day, this Saturday, we're going to be out at the Ghost Roller Derby Rally Fleet. They're going to be having a wonderful match. I've invited the Kalos Coalition out, and we're excited to be out there.
I love roller derby. Where?
It's going to be in Newport News.
Newport News. Okay.
Yes.
Sunday?
That's going to be, I believe that's Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
Yes, that's going to be on Saturday. So we've got those wonderful events coming up. And then also on Sunday, we're going to be seeing out there at Portsmouth Pride. That's the first one, kind of the launch that's going out here. I know there's a few other events going on, so I can't list them all. But please go to kaloscoalition.com/events to see our entire Pride calendar. There's so many things that we're looking forward to. I mean, we're going to be doing at Chrysler, the Chrysler Museum on June 5th. We're going to be doing Pride at Broadway, on Broadway. Yes, there we go, Pride on Broadway. And we're going to be out there doing our video story booth, capturing stories of queer and trans joy, and just putting on our best.
That's awesome.
And then I guess the other big thing, the thing that we're super excited about is, of course, Hampton Roads Pride Fest this year. It's going to be at a Town Point Park like it has been every year. It's an amazing event. And this year we're super excited that they invited us and the Transgender Assistance Program of Virginia, the Southeastern Transgender Resource Center, Thriving Trans Men of Color, and so many other trans-led organizations to participate in what they're calling their Trans Joy Zone. It's going to be a very special location where we're going to have all of the organizations together to amplify all of our work. So I'd love for you to come out and visit us, come out and learn about the ways that you can get involved in community, the ways that you can see yourself represented in these different community organizations, and get the resources that you need while having a little bit of fun. You know,
or a whole lot of fun.
A whole lot of fun, ideally.
A lot of joy.
So many joy. I think we'll be somewhere between the main stage and the secondary stage. It's going to be so.
It's going to be so much
At
fun.
least 3 joys.
3 whole joy. I don't know if we'll have enough
least.
room for that. There's also a family-friendly zone this year that we're really excited about. And then, of course, speaking of family-friendly, I really want to give a shout-out to Pride in the Peak. We've had Jeremy Rodden on before, a friend of the pod. And we're going to be out there that Sunday.
Oh, great.
So it's June 21st for Pride Fest, June 22nd for Pride in the Peak.
Yes.
And again, if you're looking for these details, you can go follow Hampton Roads Pride. They have a wonderful calendar, as well as go to, again, kaloscoalition.com/events. We'd love to see you out.
I'm very sad this year. It'll be my first year not going to Pride, whether it's Pride in the Peak or Norfolk Pride, like HR Pride, in a years, because I will be in Thailand. I mean, I'm not sad about being in Thailand, but I'm sad that I will not be able to be with my friends, because last year I was with my friends at Pride in the Peak. I was with Kalos Coalition, and I just really love going to Pride. I'll be at Pride events like throughout the month, but I won't be able to go.
I'll try and get the extra ones in for you.
Yes, you get that.
Because I will not be in Thailand.
Yeah.
Try to be at many of all of those events as I can.
Absolutely. So if you want to come out and meet BZ Dad, come out and visit the Kalos Coalition at different Pride events.
Yes.
Yes, I am so sorry. The look on his face. He can't wait to meet his adoring fans.
Yes. It's going to be hard for you to walk around. You better be prepared, sir.
I am happy that the message is getting out there.
Yes.
I'm happy that it's benefiting a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting, hope and joy out of it. I'm very happy about that. I've gotten so many messages. Like I have to say, every time I've gone viral or whatever, I've been bracing myself for that wave
Right, of
of
messages.
of hate and all
yeah.
of that you see out there. And
No.
nope, just a whole lot of love and support and gratitude coming out of the community.
It's amazing.
And so, just for all those people out there wondering if there's hope and good people out there, there's a lot of them. So keep it up.
Oh, awesome.
And we need the love and support this year. As a little segue, is because this year there's so many different Pride events, so many different Pride organizations that are underfunded, that are seeing less funding from their community, from the state, from the federal government. We're seeing the Trump administration, other and other entities target pull back. I know locally here in the state of Virginia, we could talk about the impacts on Richmond Pride. I know that there was an article that was put out, and then also here with Hampton Roads Pride.
Yep,
exactly.
they said it was Jeff. The writer, I think, is the
Jeff Ryder. Yeah.
Jeff Ryder. There was an article published just a couple days ago talking about how I guess sponsorships overall are down about 25%, which is equivalent to $100,000. And when you are putting on the size of an event that HR Pride is, that's huge. That's a huge impact on resources available. That means there's going to be more they're going to have to rely on more volunteer services versus paid services. There may not be there just may not be things that have been there historically that they'll be able to provide now because of $100,000 sponsorships. And that's corporations are just starting to pull back from. Now, I am a proud sponsor. Our business is a proud sponsor of Pride in the Peak every single year since its very first year. And I, without question, when they asked me this year, I wrote a check gladly with an open heart and didn't reduce what if there's going to be a reduction in something I'm going to sponsor or donate, it's going to be in something else. It's not going to be, So companies, step up your game and stop reducing your sponsorships to Pride events.
Well, I think you're seeing that, like, that 25% is a good good example of how we're seeing those resources kind of decrease in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Even things like, we had a homeschool group that met at the library.
Yeah.
And because of the different things, the environment, the way things are being ran, they were told by the librarians, don't send us messages about this. If you want to talk about us doing the homeschool group for the LGBTQ kids, you have to call us on the phone so that people can't monitor what we're talking about. And we're not going to be able to provide these certain resources anymore attached to this because of the way people are just because of the way the laws are changing, the way things are being handled. When you've made diversity and equity and inclusion bad words, and so we're seeing that kind of pullback and the impacts of that in these major, and even these, I still consider them major, but these other more subtle ways, you see these resources getting taken away, becoming less available. And it's really tough. It's hard. I mean, something like that was very important to me. That's my child's group of friends.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
That's so many of the participants at the trans family dinner. There's so many families that are already lacking the resources and community and such, because it's hard homeschooling children. You don't have access to the public school libraries, a lot of the other resources that people make available to public. So the idea that they're just met with hostility, that we are met with hostility when all we want is space in public spaces.
Right.
Right.
It is paid for, by the way, because they pay for a space in the library to meet.
But fear is, it doesn't pay attention to currency, or but maybe to a certain extent. not in this case. There's a directionality to power, and these kids do not have that power. These families do not have that power. The people who have that power are scaring librarians. So to be clear, this isn't an issue specifically of the librarians, except for that
No,
they are
this is-
trying to keep their programming, their limited funding available. So let us not send hate directly at those
No,
individuals.
it's not the librarians. It's
No, they're
the
yeah.
situation that they're being put in
Mhm.
by politicians and leaders.
Librarians
people.
are some of the best keepers of knowledge. They're the ones that disseminate all the information. They're like, here, we have this book for free. Go ahead and read it.
Yeah, there's a lot of librarians, a lot of teachers that I've heard from that are just horrified by this and feel powerless because they have families they need to feed. They still have a mission that they're on, that they're trying to provide, and they feel like they see kids hurting, and it hurts them very much. They don't know what to do about it.
That's that is what these culture, war, like it's like this attack on just everything and making everything about this in politics, like not about policy but about hating people
And power.
and power, right?
Taking money.
And they're right.
We talk about Hampton Roads Pride losing sponsors. We can talk about the Pride events, the things that we can bring to the events, but it's also the scholarships, the money they put directly in the hands of trans and queer youth. Folks who have a bright future ahead of them and have potential and are already facing headwinds and lack of resources. And then we look at them taking resources from our libraries.
Right.
They look at it, so it is an all-out assault to silo, to put us low, to put us hiding, and then to take and starve us of the resources, which is why we have to fight back, and we all have to fight back together.
And it is only taking.
Right.
There's not all of this news of how people in need are getting vast amounts of resources or anything like that at all. All of this across the board, and I really wish people would just hear this. You are only getting taken from.
Yep.
Everybody.
Just
That's
taken.
it. Nobody is getting anything. That's what's being supported right now. That's
Except
what's
with the billionaire class.
Yeah, the billionaire class. But the regular person, no matter who you are, some people are getting hurt more than others, but everybody is only losing here.
Correct. Yes. And so, which, we have a guest. So, why don't we transition?
Yeah, we are not losing here.
We are not losing
Goodness,
here.
I'm winning.
We have a guest.
Hashtag winning.
Winning.
Just stay winning.
I know. Yes. So, tattoo artist. You said 30 something.
Yeah.
All right. Are you from Virginia Beach?
Not really. I've lived all over the place actually. I've
Oh.
been born in Hawaii, and then at like 5 years old, we moved up to upstate New York, about an hour away from Albany. And then moved back to Hawaii when I was like 16.
Oh my gosh, you
Nice.
rolled your eyes, like moved back to Hawaii.
Well,
Tell me why.
I love Hawaii, but the move back was kind of just
Not good.
it's bittersweet because I almost immediately moved to Texas. Like I didn't even finish or start a school year in Hawaii before we were in Texas, in Abilene, Texas.
Oh, not Abilene.
Yeah, buckle of the Bible Belt. I actually did some some research. What research can you do when you have just a yellow pages? But I counted up how many churches there were in Abilene at the time, and this was roughly about 2006. I counted 201 churches, counted one synagogue, and I counted one mosque.
Wow.
And at the time, that equated to about a church for every 1,000 people.
Wow. I'm not surprised. I lived in San Angelo, Texas
yeah.
for about 8 months. The armpit of Texas is what I called it. So.
That's the clasp of the buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yeah, it's really awful. Hair big, cars big, egos big. Everything is certainly bigger in Texas.
Government subsidies too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much.
Sorry.
Oh, hi, Navy. Hold on, we got some Navy flying over. So,
But then I fled Texas after about 5 years, getting in a little bit of trouble there.
yeah.
And ended up here in Virginia. Lived here for about 9 years. Went to Ohio for about 4 years, and then I've been back for probably about 2 years.
Not Ohio.
So I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
All the worst places.
Where did you
plus
go?
Hawaii.
I know. Where'd you move to in Ohio?
Elyria, which is just outside of Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Just outside being an hour.
Yeah,
So.
I mean anywhere in Ohio is kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry if you're listening from Ohio. I feel like you feel I'm from Ohio as well. I'm from Columbus, so I can say it. When have you always been an artist?
Yeah, I've, as far back as I can think, like there's been other things that I've done and had fun doing, but I remember scribbling little pictures on a piece of paper and taping them to the refrigerator myself because I wasn't gonna wait for my mom to approve of them and hang them.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
And all through school, I was always drawing on all sorts of things. See, we were kind of poor, so I didn't have like the whole bunch of paints at homes or canvases or even sketchbooks, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I could always get my hands on a piece of paper and a pencil. Either at Department of Social Services because they give me that to keep me occupied, and I'm like, I really need to be occupied. Give me more.
Yeah.
Or schools and such because they're not just gonna let kids go without paper and pencils.
Right.
We need those.
Yeah.
Or
You started with graphite, yeah?
yeah, graphite for a long time. Switched to colored pencils for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally went to college for it when I was about 22, 23 years old, went to TCC, and got exposure to a whole bunch of different mediums. It was just absolutely blown away.
Yeah, that's very cool. When did you decide you wanted to be a tattoo artist?
Probably about 17 years old,
Really?
to be honest. Yeah. I was incarcerated for punching a police officer in the jaw.
Fuck yeah, ACAB.
At 17 years old, and while I was in jail, definitely everybody else around me, I drew all the time to keep my pretty little safety. And people around me were like, man, we got to get you behind a gun. We got to get you tatting. And that's when it kind of dawned on me. That's kind of something that I could do given the circumstances of my birth and of my life in the meantime. Like, I could be a tattoo artist and actually be able to eat.
Right,
and make,
yes, it's a practical
like pay rent.
Yeah, it's a practical way to do what you love and pay your bills.
And I loved tattoos in the first place.
Yeah.
And, I always thought maybe I could do tattoos, but like, that finally opened the focus to it. It's like, wow, I could really do this.
And the self-expression piece.
Hell yeah.
Right. And
no dress code.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely don't need a dress code.
Definitely don't need a dress code. So Cav, you're trans woman.
Yeah.
And
trans feminine non-binary.
Trans feminine non-binary.
If we want to get semantic.
No, we can be semantic. My oldest is a trans masculine non-binary.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and they are 31. So when you said 30s, I was like, am I old enough to be your mama or not? Like, so I have a 31-year-old. So that's like my measure of like, am I old enough to be your mama or not? Okay, I am in the tattoo industry. My husband and I, those of us, but for listeners, my husband and I own a studio, and I am very familiar with the industry. And so survival as a trans, feminine, non-binary, wonderful human, how is that for you?
It's been kind of interesting because, like, I started my tattoo career before I started my transition.
Okay.
Like, And I started my transition up in Ohio, of all places. So I kind of
Wow.
set everything on hard mode.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
But I had some good DLC as soon as I moved to Ohio. I use the thought like plenty of tattoo artists don't go by their government issued name.
They go.
So I just started introducing myself as this kind of gender neutral collection of sounds, Cavalis or Cav.
Mm-hmm.
And people couldn't say, oh, that's a girl's name or oh, that's a boy's name because they've never heard it before.
Yeah.
So that was one easy part. I didn't have to get people to start calling me anything new because they didn't know what to call me old.
To begin with, yep.
There was some of my coworkers at the time definitely changed the way that they were around me. It was interesting. I didn't realize that those coworkers were like such dudes kind of people. And so when I started transitioning, like they hung around me a little bit at first, but like even though I kept up similar joking, I was still me. I was just like dressing and presenting more feminine and stuff. They were suddenly less comfortable.
Of course.
Which does make sense. It's different if a girl starts saying all these sex jokes than if dudes are saying sex jokes with each other. You know, things like that.
I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of just, it points out like that maybe it's just inappropriate altogether.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think in that makes them, there's an awareness there maybe.
Yeah.
But do go on. I'm sorry.
But I also think that once they discovered that my sexuality was just as fluid as my gender,
yes,
then they were also very unnerved by me. Like, oh, you're going to try to hit on me. I'm like, no. Nope. Frankly, y'all are kind of ugly and kind of like...
Frankly, I don't think you're attractive.
And y'all are kind of like assholes. So, like, I'm not going to...
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump to take you to dinner or have you take me to the movies.
Isn't it so interesting? It's not interesting. It's just my mind, like what happens there with this, with like, you know, cisgendered men who are not in touch at all with, I mean, they're just steeped in toxic masculinity. Maybe that's probably a better thing. But the threat turn into, right?
Yeah.
But in not in any way a threat at all, but just to them, you have become, you're going to challenge something in them.
Well, let me be honest. I feel like most trans feminine folks, and I don't mean to speak for all trans feminine non-binary folks, but especially within the binary, we are a challenge in a lot of ways. At least that's how we're seen. Whether we intend to challenge or not is whether it's up to our individual autonomy. But a lot of, especially men that are steeped, like you said, in that heteronormative patriarchal systems and like masculine, super hyper masculine norms, they're like, well, how dare you turn down the power?
Yes.
How dare you say no?
Oh, yes.
What do you like? And what does that mean? How does that reflect in me? Because they see us as mirrors and they try to see themselves in us and they couldn't imagine. And it so offends.
And why would you ever want to be a woman or feminine or any of those things? You've been given this gift, right? Like, it's like this, that is how it's looked at by these men who are, again, not in touch with.
And a lot of men just don't like women at all.
Well,
men that, like, when I came out, they're like, I can't believe that you like women so much. I was like, I am a woman. They're like, well, I just don't like women. And I was like, that was literally their reaction to me coming on. I was like, oh, so we're not friends anymore. Cool.
Yeah.
Bye.
And especially in the tattoo community.
Oh.
Because tattooing has largely been a boys' club. It's always been a fight for women to have any sort of...
Well, because women are so sexually abused and harassed in the industry. Like, and made made a mockery of in many ways. I mean, it is very like I don't have any problems in the tattoo industry because I don't give a fuck, and they know it. I will tell you to go fuck yourself, and I'm not afraid of you either. I'll punch you right in your mouth. Like, I don't care. I will give you a dental rearrangement. I have way too much bottled up trauma for any of these men to be a problem for me. You know what I mean? And so, like, try me. But like it doesn't have to be that way, but that's how the industry. Yeah. It's just how the industry is, because it's also because, like, we've been on the fringes of society for, like, you know, decades and decades and decades. Like, when you are, you know, it doesn't matter how normal I dress, or how, you know, I have, you know, raised 5 kids and all, you know, just to have lived this what would be perceived normal life. I still am looked at differently because of how I look. Yeah. You know, and it's so, which, whatever, but like, it is definitely, it puts you on the fringes of society, you know? Man, these Jets are loud tonight.
They just save it for when we're doing our show. That's what it is. They just save it from when we're doing our show.
Did we not sit here for like 30 minutes preparing before we went
Not
live?
a single one.
They're subscribed to your live.
Yeah, they are. They're watching.
What I think is interesting too is I think, you know, outside of you know, any prejudices or certain things like that, I think it highlights how unconsciously most people live their life.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because when the rules are somewhat removed, right? Like when you are just a man, it's very clear in our society all of the different parameters. Yeah. Right or wrong.
Right,
but
correct.
The parameters are clear.
The parameters are there. Yeah, the boundaries, the parameters are there.
Yeah, when those parameters are removed, in order to make a decision, you have to become conscious and actually look at yourself and decide what you really want and what you should really do and what is really right and wrong. Whereas with those parameters there, you can live your life automatically, without accountability, without self-reflection, without guilt or any of some of the negative things that come with providing yourself with growth as a person. When those parameters exist, you can just autopilot right on through.
That's right.
And never be uncomfortable. Once those parameters are removed, you either have to look at yourself, which I think is one of the biggest problems that people don't realize.
Oh, self-awareness is a problem.
Is the biggest reason why people cannot see other people is that they just refuse and are unable to look at themselves. They can't see themselves either.
That's right.
They see an image of themselves that they have built, and they autopilot their life through that image. And when somebody that's close to them or somebody that they interact with removes the parameters, all of a sudden the autopilot's off and you're just flying without any controls, is what it feels like for a lot of these people in their mind, because they've never before taken control of what they're actually doing. They've just been autopiloting along these parameters.
Right.
And so I think that's where a huge sense of this uncomfortability for a lot of people comes from, when they don't even recognize that that's where it's coming from, is all of a sudden, because the parameters have been removed in a relationship, when they're interacting with this relationship, they actually have to put their hands on the wheel and drive their lives, and they're not quite sure how to do that.
That's right.
Yeah, I think they have to think.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, but they finally have to think. Like you said, they've just been autopiloting, not having to use their brain, and it's been easy for them, and they're relishing in that. And then suddenly, I'm causing them to question things, to look for answers, to look for reason and logic. The engine's starting to whir up in places that it hasn't before. And they're like, wait, no, I don't like this. I didn't want to work right now. I just wanted to hang out and relax.
And I think there's a part of like the trans experience where we are confronted, whether with dysphoria, euphoria, through gender or through body dysmorphia, or different things that we contend with that force us to contend directly with who we are. Yeah. In a material way, in the way that we reflect ourselves in society. And that's one of the things I love about my transepts. I don't love the jet noise, but I do love the fact that, like, we seek out that purpose. We seek out a way of being. We seek out an understanding of the framework and people around us out of necessity, but also out of a deep desire to reflect outward what is we feel and experience inside. And that is transgressive, not to overly use the trans prefix. And that will make some people uncomfortable because they want to stay where they are for a million different reasons, psychological reasons, cultural reasons, conditioning reasons.
Yep.
But the one thing I tell to those people, and one thing that we're trying to do with the Kalos Coalition, is to tell people that when you walk in your purpose, you shine. You become a better person a version of yourself, and your community also shines. The light is reflected in other people, in your work, in your family, and it's easier for you to see them, for them to see you, and you're able to engage with them. And that means that you are not having a top-down understanding of the world where they're dictating it, but you're having a subjective, referential experience, a lived experience where you are and I feel like a lot of us want to be closed off. It's easy to be closed off and to be in a little category.
For as many people who rant and rail and scream about freedom and don't threaten my freedom and I want freedom, they really have no concept of what it is, and actually spend so much time trying to not be free, because the truth is freedom is scary. Freedom is the most terrifying thing you will have, because when you are free, you are accountable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Right. And it's really interesting. Just kind of on that same thought, like the fear. I saw a post by somebody that Phil Hines in your
yeah.
Okay. And he made a post about there were 50 arrests at the oceanfront in 72 hours. And it was guns, violence, and something else, whatever. Okay.
Was there a Republican meeting?
And I, and just reading it, I initially was like, that's a lot. And then I took a beat and I said, okay, but 72 hours, I went to the oceanfront twice in those 72 hours myself to go patron businesses or go to the Boardwalk Art Show, or not Boardwalk Art Show, but the Beach Art and Surf Expo. Never felt unsafe. Very much enjoyed my time as a local going down to the oceanfront. Okay. And there were thousands of people at the oceanfront. And so I commented back and I just said, in perspective, there were thousands of people at the oceanfront this weekend. When you look at perspective of thousands of people at the oceanfront in that 72 hours and only 50 arrests happen, what happens now to your view or lens, right? And I just said, what is it? And I asked, I don't remember how I phrased it, but I was like, what is it about, these numbers that how can we get you to not be, look at it through fear, right? What are you afraid of in your city? It very much showed me how steeped in fear they are, literally about everything. And that is not freedom.
No,
you are in chains, my friend. You are in chains. And I feel so free because of how accepting I am of everybody except for conservatives. But anyways, but
you honestly tolerate them.
I do. You know what? I do. You're right. You're 100% right.
Because here's the truth. And I know Melissa feels the same way about this. Our problem is not with how they live their lives.
No.
Our problem is that they think everybody has to live their lives.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. I don't care if you want to live your life like that. It's fine. I choose not to. But you're not going to try to, one, legislate how that I live like you do, and two, I'm going to call you out if I see you fear mongering, and because I don't think that this man intentionally was doing that.
Right.
But I was trying to give him some perspective, like, bro, like thousands of people and you're going to be like 50 arrests? Like, that's a really low percentage if you ask me.
You got
Yeah,
one
that's-
bad apple out of the whole orchard. So.
If there's 1,000 people, that's literally 5% over 3 days.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
5% of them, I've been sitting here doing the math.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Almost immediately, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
But then that's the language that is used to, or that's how people are using language to spread certain rhetoric and elicit fear. It's like using the truth to make someone believe a lie. 5% is tiny.
Yeah.
5% sounds tiny. 95% of the people there did not get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But 50 is big.
And when you don't give any other numbers, you just say 50 arrests.
When you
for
just
guns
hyper focus
and
the
violence.
negative and you just
Right.
microscope in on one thing,
Right.
you know, you can make anything big enough if you zoom in on it.
And it's the same thing with sports, trans people in sports. How many trans athletes are there in the whole entire country?
Like
and
10.
12. And how many athletes are in the whole country? Like college athletes. It's just but that is their specialty. That is their specialty, and that is what we have to, at least with people like I'm talking about. Like, he hasn't responded to me that I can see in the comments, which often happens when I make a point that they have a very difficult time combating. They just ignore me.
Yeah.
They just don't even respond, and I'm like, y'all, this is not working, right?
But
So
I consider that winning, though.
it is. It is winning.
That's one thing to understand is when you're having these conversations, winning feels different.
Winning does.
Winning feels different when you're having these conversations. Sometimes they don't have anything to come back with is the win.
Is the win. Yeah, no, 100%. And so I think that we're just in this, and it's like we're all ready. And that's why I asked you, Cav, specifically about being in the industry, because, just in the world right now, the transmisia, the transphobia is like so strong, and it feels like it's just permeated every single part of, our lives, in day to day. And then I know that there's an entire, like the tattoo industry is a whole other animal on its own that has its own culture and has its own, major issues with misogyny and sexism and all these things. That's why it's very curious. And it's very brave, by the way, like, to be in our industry and live authentically. And I need to just share that with you, that it's just very important that people live authentically, as feeling as safe as they can, but that I recognize how brave and courageous it is that you do that in the spaces that you do it in, because I know what it's like to be in those spaces.
Thank you. Yeah, really, thank you. I almost feel like, though, if it weren't for the freedom in the tattoo industry of expression, I might have had a harder time socially transitioning,
I agree.
When I'm in the tattoo industry, if I wear a crop top, if I'm an AMAB person and I decide that I want to wear a crop top, who's going to question it? I'm a tattoo artist. People have Allen wrenches dangling from their ears, and they'll have all sorts of profanity written across their eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like, what's one person dressing a little scantily gonna do? Like,
right. Well,
every little
we're
step
used to
that
it
I
in
made,
the industry. Yeah.
and every little step.
Oh my God.
Every little step that I took in my presentation was just like, oh, well, this person is already here and this is already a tattoo shop. Yeah. Like, what's a skirt? What's a bodycon dress? They're showing off all their tattoos. So
we had an artist, Micah Soul, that used to work with us.
I follow Micah.
Yeah. And so years ago, when we did the first Hampton Roads Tattoo Convention, the very first year, Micah said that they wanted to dress they had an outfit picked out, and they were wearing a skirt, and had just mentioned it, and so my husband, being the sweet human he is, wore his kilt the first day
Awesome.
of the show, so that he could be supportive
Yeah.
of Micah, who was not Micah at the time, but wanted to be in support of Micah, and just that was his way of being like, you're not going to say anything to me. I mean, I don't know if you know who my husband is or what he looks like or anything like that, but he's very well known in the industry, and like he used to be much larger than he is now, but
Right.
he was he's a big tattooed scary man according to people, but he's really not, right? And so his thing is like, oh, like if you mess with them, like you mess with me, and we all know you're not messing with me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I love that. It's like he wore that to basically say that, like, oh, what are you going to say about that person wearing that? I'm wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the exact same thing. You're going to say that to my face?
That's right. And it's very, and you're right. Like that is one thing about being in the industry, is that the self-expression is so important to us. That's what
we do. That's our job. That's our career. We peddle self-expression.
We peddle self-expression, exactly, right? So that I just, I wanted to say that, but like it really is the self-expression piece of it. So sometimes we live in this weird space because there is this misogyny, there is this sexism, there is this judgment of others, and to include normies, by the way. Like, we judge this shit out of like
all the time,
like normies. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, oh, got a normie.
Oh, here comes Jessica with all her fine line tattoos. I bet she's gonna say none of her tattoos hurt. Yeah, and I bet she's gonna tell that to the person getting something in their ditch.
And she would like it. And she would like it 3 times smaller than it should be.
Yeah, and can I get it in red?
Yeah. Actually, better. How about white? Can I get white? So I'm sorry, Jessica. We're definitely making fun. But anyways, so
don't worry, Karen signed for her.
So
Karen,
you started your transition in Ohio, you were saying.
Yeah.
So
hard mode
in Ohio. Do you have any like family out here or anything? How's
Not really. I have a lot of chosen family. I've come into contact with some absolutely wonderful people, and I have a very great chosen family down here.
Amazing.
As for relatives and such, I have none around here. They're scattered. I'm slowly finding some of them that are directly related and letting them know, like, hey, you have a sister, by the way. Here I am. Meanwhile, my dad lives in Hawaii. My mom lives in upstate New York with my little brother. And I don't have contact with either of my parents for great reason. But yeah, no actual family here or Ohio. I did have a friend who's almost like family, more chosen family, but in a way that her mom was best friends with my mom when I was born.
Oh, okay.
So, like, she's my sister, my first sister, and she was living in Ohio, so that was kind of my in to the place everybody wants to get out of.
Yes, very much. Yeah. But that was the space that you could go. Okay, very cool.
And I was still able to find a community there when I came out and when I started my transition. Even if it wasn't through the tattoo community, real nearby, and through customers especially, I was able to find people in all stages of transition, gender identity, sexuality, and it was actually a much bigger exposure to the community than I had previously had down here, frequenting the Wave once a week. So that was actually really heartwarming to me to see how eagerly and quickly they were accepting of me, not knowing who I was, knowing that I didn't know who I was entirely either.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they helped me a lot. And
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I was going to ask that. Thanks for asking that too.
I was also going to bring up that the first time that I heard about Cav, the first time that I got introduced was actually when producer Athena reached out and told me that they were interested in getting their very first tattoo. And Cav, of course, was like, I just talked about this amazing artist. And I don't know, producer Athena, are we allowed to show? Would you?
Wait. Oh, yep.
There
Yay.
it is.
There it is.
Ooh, and the sticker.
Thank you.
Oh yes, and also I would like to give a shout out to Cav. Cav has actually volunteered their amazing skill as an artist for a sticker pack. We're fundraising right now through the month of Pride, throughout the rest of the year to help fund our trans family dinner program. And Cav was like, "I've got art." Then I was like, "You are an amazing artist," and obviously it kind of represents the project that Athena has been helping the Kalos Coalition spread throughout the Hampton Roads area, putting all these little cranes out, these little joy cranes, and.
Those stickers are launching on the store Saturday, you said?
Yes, you can go online and pre-order on Saturday. You can go to kaloscoalition.com/stickers, or you can go to kaloscoalition.com and you'll be able to navigate up there from the nav bar to find all the details there. You can buy individual stickers. We've got ones designed by local 16-year-old trans youth. We've got ones designed by all of our amazing non-binary folks. We have one designed by Tough Cretin, the artist in resident at the 757 Creative Reuse Center right now, and more. We have so many cool things, so check them out. Go on to the sticker shop, see if you can't get some stickers. Help us spread trans
Get
joy.
some stickers and get
Exactly.
some people fed and helped.
Absolutely.
Right.
These stickers are absolutely beautiful. Not just mine. I saw the packet and I was like, oh my god, this is so great. I love all the expression coming out from these. So definitely check them out. Pick them up.
Yep, they're great.
Our mission is literally to spread trans works, excellence, and joy, and Cav is helping us fulfill our mission, literally helping spread and make beauty all across the Hampton Roads. So get your sticker packs, put up the stickers, and then tag us at Kalos Coalition or tag the artists so that we can help spread even more trans joy.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Put them everywhere.
I know. And how can we find you on like Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Cavalis Fox. It's gonna be like CAVALAS and then Fox like Fox. And
1X, 2X's?
1X.
1X, got it.
And it's
Oh,
all one word, no underscores, no spaces, no periods or anything. I'm very lucky to have a name nobody's heard of because nobody's used it.
that's perfect.
And you can also find me on Blue Sky at Cavalis Fox, PHAWKES, or on Threads at the same handle for Instagram.
Good. Hopefully you'll get some folks to follow you. I will definitely drop you a follow. I'm on Blue Sky and Threads and Insta, although I don't do Insta as much.
So I guess supposed to get on Sky.
Oh, you haven't gone on Blue Sky yet?
I just got on Instagram a couple months
So
ago.
I got on Blue Sky, but my thing with Blue Sky is that it doesn't algo for you. You have to do it yourself. And like that, apparently that's the appealing thing about it.
I could see that.
I know, I do too, except that like I'm like, oh, can't you just show me stuff I need to see? Listen in on my phone. Like, just show me, feed
Spy
me.
on me and give me what I want.
Spy on me and give me what I want. Like, yeah, exactly.
Please don't spy on me. Just give me what I want.
Okay. I think they're already spying on us. Patriot Act, hello. They're already spying on us, so they've been spying.
Been spying on us.
Been
like
spying.
there was a thing way years ago about the NSA listening to our phones.
Oh yeah. And the Patriot Act basically we just
Yeah.
gave all of our whatever. I did learn something absolutely terrifying though. I'm gonna be honest. Just the other day, and it's got my tummy in a twist because my eagerness years ago because we travel a lot and wanting to get TSA pre-check, because why wouldn't you, if you travel a lot, want to not go through all the bullshit
Right.
through security and have just less bullshit, right? And you pay $80 and then you get this number and then it goes on your plane tickets and then you get to go through the fancy machine without taking your shoes and belts off, right? Well, I just saw a video and about this from an attorney who basically was like, little did you know, everybody who has TSA pre-check, you essentially like signed away pretty much like all of your with a TSA pre-check number to the government, like when it comes to like
They let you through because they know.
they'll and now they can confiscate all my things because they know. Because when you signed up for that, like apparently what all the shit we signed up for, it's basically giving them all the rights to be able to take all of our shit.
So just stay in the line. Just do the line.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So never, ever, ever, if you do not have TSA pre-check, do not ever, ever get TSA pre-check. Ever. So, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Y'all gonna find me in a gulag somewhere.
Oh,
Y'all better put an air tag on me.
I'm sure I'm on a list.
Y'all better do something so y'all know where I am. I don't know how you need to do it, but put an implant chip. I don't know. Can I get a chip like a dog? Like can I get
I think
one
they
of those?
can do that. I think they can
Can
do that
they
now.
do that now?
Yeah.
Like I
I
think
feel,
I'm
I
sure
feel like
it's
the
pretty
fascists would
advanced,
like
too.
that way too much, Melissa.
I'm saying.
I mean,
They just
they
Be a little
probably
dog.
do that. How many rich people would
I
do that to
mean,
their kids?
I
Actually,
just-
they.
I need to be microchipped.
I don't know how advanced they've gotten with it, but I know it was years ago when they actually started microchipping people, and I think they even did some like test runs with firefighters and
You
stuff
know
like
who-
that in different states that have like your medical information and things like that.
You know who's gonna have that? Who's gonna? My piercer is definitely gonna know. Ryan has a magnet in his finger. He's had it for years, so he it's a part. He uses it a party trick. It's not a strong magnet, but it's like under his skin. All kinds of party tricks. I should ask him.
I feel
He
like
probably
I've
knows.
seen that on Instagram.
Yeah, he has like a magnet in his finger. Yeah, it's
Is it supposed
gross.
to give you like that extra sensory perception of like electromagnetic because it like pulls at the because you have a lot of nerve endings at your fingertips and your lips.
No,
and
he
stuff.
just literally did it. He did it for a cool party trick. I swear to God. Yeah,
So you can pick up a nail at the bottom of a drain.
Yeah, he just does, and it's not even that
Yeah.
strong.
And it's not like it'll be effective for piercings
It's
because
not. No,
like
it
it's
doesn't. No, it does,
surgical steel's not magnetized.
Not magnetized yet. No, it's literally just a cool party. He's crazy. He's just a cool party trick. You know those body mod people, like they're a whole nother level. I don't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Oh my God. Oh, my throat. Sorry. Okay.
Well, I am glad that I will not have to go through a TSA line pre-check or not, at least a little while.
Yes.
Way too much. Well, lots of fun
Yes. Yep.
over
mhm.
Memorial Day.
Yes,
really
we've
loved
gone.
my camping trip
Cody, we've missed Cody.
and all of that, but so much flying. Just like 12 hours flying. And I did like the night, so like I left at like 9:30 or something and
Yep.
flew overnight and got the most amazing rest in
Ooh,
the
I
middle
bet.
seat of an airplane.
Sleeping on a cloud in the clouds.
Yep.
Yes, I know, but I got a trick. Like I saw somebody do it a long time ago, and I learned you get your backpack and you stuff it full of like sweaters, so it's just
Yep,
like really
uh-huh.
big, and then you put that on the food tray in front of you,
Yep. And then you have a
and
pillow.
it's
Mhm.
that's the best way to sleep in the middle.
Yep.
But
Money.
I did come back to this cool shirt.
I like your shirt. I didn't
Yes.
realize that was a new shirt.
This
For
is-
some reason,
love
I
it.
thought you would have already had that shirt.
I know this is a new shirt. Stevie Safe Spaces
Okay.
is the website where you can get this shirt. But this is a shirt that I'm so embarrassed for not remembering Doctor Who's name right now.
Matt Smith, David Tennant.
David Tennant.
That's right. David Tennant is a
Yes.
bigger champion.
Yes,
Okay.
Stevie sent this shirt to David Tennant, and so I got the same one. I'm kind of.
Are you telling me you're wearing the same thing as the doctor?
I'm wearing the same thing as the doctor?
We
Are you
can
the
get like a
doctor?
20-foot long
No.
scarf, and you'll be good.
Okay.
No,
but
just a
I don't know
fan.
who David Tennant is, but can we talk about Pedro Pascal then?
Okay, let me.
Pedro
okay,
Pascal?
David Tennant is also daddy. I'm just saying.
Oh, David Tennant is also daddy?
David Tennant is daddy.
Oh.
100% David
Twink
Tennant's
daddy, maybe, but still daddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some
Pedro
days, some days,
Pascal
not so
is
much.
so my daddy. Oh. Love him. Love him.
And his sister.
And his sister. And his love for his sister. And how he's literally like, I just love him. I mean, I don't tend to fawn over people like that, but like stars and you know what I mean, famous people, but Pedro.
We love Pedro
now
Pascal.
I need to look at David.
David Tennant, yes.
Okay, so I don't
And you
watch
can-
Doctor. Like I never got into.
Wasn't
Doctor
he
Who.
also in Good Omens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's in Good
Good Omens
He
as
plays
well.
the
He's
demon
done
or
a
the
lot of
devil.
things. When you see the picture of him, you'll be like, oh,
I'm looking
But
right
him
now.
as the Doctor, great.
Nope, Scottish actor.
yes.
He was also
Oh,
had a great
yes.
scene in the Catherine Tate show.
Oh, yeah.
The Catherine Tate show.
So
Oh, yes, I love the Catherine Tate
yes,
show.
I'm super stoked that Stevie sent me this shirt, and I got a great sweatshirt, hoodie too, and another great shirt. So if you're listening, go check out Stevie Safe Spaces and find some cool shirts, and absolutely do that.
Oh, yeah. I went to a drag show over the weekend, and it was a wicked drag show.
Ooh,
So, Navy, you're really cramping my style here. Okay. So this was fascinating. So it was at the Funny Bone Comedy Club. So it was really interesting because I was like, I wonder how they're going to do this. It was hilarious. So Cake Pop, is the queen who organized the whole thing. And Jennifer Warner, was also one of the queens. And then I sadly cannot remember the king. There was a king and then there was a queen, and I sadly cannot remember the names. I'm so sorry. But, it was awesome. They kept calling it community theater because they were basically doing the song, like they were kind of acting out. They were the scenes with the songs of Wicked. So, and they did it in the, like through like the movie. So it wasn't the whole movie, of course, because it was a long movie, but it was like the best scenes, and they like enacted them, and it was a different kind of a drag show, but it was super fun. Really, really, really fun, especially because, it's just everybody likes to sing Wicked. Well, maybe not everybody likes to sing Wicked songs, but it's very enjoyable. And then they did like the last like 30 minutes was like drag, where they had Sabrina Carpenter and Gaga, and that was really great. Yeah, it was really great. But yeah, they packed us into that Funny Bone. Like if you've ever been to the Funny Bone for a comedy show and how they pack you in there, that's how they kind of did with the drag show too. And it was a little bit snug. So they couldn't really do
their audience stuff
as much. They did. Oh my gosh, they did a great job working the audience as much as they could, but there's just not like a lot of space in between those tables and stuff. So
yeah,
we didn't get any acrobatics or anything, but it was
no
amazing.
dead drops?
No. Well, on the stage once, but
okay.
but no, it was great.
Now,
It was
I just
wonderful.
wanted to also say, if you're looking for some amazing performances, we have Pride Month coming up, y'all.
Yes.
There's some
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
things. One that I wanted to give a shout out, especially to, hold on, wait for the shout out. Okay, I think the Navy has started to depart. Wait.
they're just flying every jet today.
They are.
really
All
are.
of their
Everyone.
jets, every single one.
On June 7th, Hampton Roads Unity is going to be having their large, crowning ceremony where they're going to be picking their kings and queens for the year. A lot of our local performers, a lot of our local talent. I know we had Libra on our show earlier this year, currently holding the title and going to be passing the title to the next one that will be picked.
Yay.
So if you would like to get involved, if you'd like to come out, if you'd like to have an amazing show with lots of drops and amazing local performers, and they need the love and support, come out. Make sure you go follow Hampton Roads Unity on all the socials. You can find out more information. I believe it's, like I said, June 7th that evening. I'm not sure the exact time right off the top of my head. I think it's going to be at 37th and Zen,
37th
probably
and-
from 5 to 7 start time. So double triple check. Make sure you're following it and don't miss out on that show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'll be great. And then Trans Family Dinner.
Oh, yes. We can never forget about the Trans Family
Yes.
Dinner. We're not going to have one in June because there are so many opportunities. We don't want to try to crowd the calendar already with everything else. But the next one is going to be in July. We're going to be having a Trans Spangled Banner cookout, I think is the idea.
Nice.
Ooh, I like that.
It's going to be a ton of fun. You can go and RSVP at kaloscoalition.com/TFD. It's kaloscoalition.com/TFD. You can sign up, come out and join us. It's an encrypted sign up form. And yeah, we're going to have fun. We're going to be playing
Yay.
cornhole and
I'm always happy when Pride Month comes along.
Yes.
It's like another holiday season. It feels like there's always just, so many fun things to do and great spaces to be in. And
it's warm enough to be outside.
and
And
it's,
it's warm
and it's
enough to be
summertime,
outside.
which just makes it all that much better. I think it's important to remind everybody, especially this year, that pride is a protest.
Mm-hmm.
Being yourself is a pure form of resistance,
Mm.
and so is joy. And that's what we spread here, the Kalos Coalition. That's what we spread here in our lives. Go out there and spread it in your lives, because as we've learned and as we will learn going forward in the future, trans joy defeats hate every time.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you in partnership with Collective Tattoo and the Kalos Coalition. We are listener supported, so if you like the show, please consider donating to us on Patreon at patreon.com/talkingtransparency. Like, share, and subscribe across social media, and be sure to visit our Linktree at linktree.com/talkingtrans.